Well, we've decided that we'll put governance and power into the hands of politicians, and that brings us to maybe our first conversation where Baba Jamal and other candidates were seeking to, go to Parliament for Ayawaso East. Now, we've been following the conversation because of the vote buying allegations. We also know that the OSP took a keen interest in that. The party, for the first time we've heard, maybe it's happened before, but it gained popularity again in the last few hours for taking up the matter and wanted to investigate it. Yesterday, the party says that they cited a few reasons why they have to proceed with the elections. I'll start with the...
Which was some of the reasons were what?
That there's time constraint. There's also the fact that if they have to annul, the candidates may want to seek redress in court, and that will also still come back to time constraint as well. However, the committee itself as well says that they cleared the person, which means that the person says that they didn't engage in any form of corruption. I'm not sure the content of the reports, the MPs here. I'd ask him, let me come to him first, then Kofi, you might get some fallout from what happened yesterday. In the nutshell, the committee, the 3-member investigative committee, the nutshell, what did they say their findings were, and how did that have a bearing on the NDC majority in caucus, their decision, and the party general?
Thank you very much, MFA. And my senior brother, Kapito, has been on the forefront of this fight against monetization of our politics over the years. We know this election was not the first, and I'm hoping that probably that will be the last time we're going to see these things. If you look at the report, this is the first time in the history of our Fourth Republic when allegations of vote buying have been made and the party has taken swift action on it. Anytime allegations come up, they are swept under the carpet. We remember just 31st January, the MPP presidential primaries, there were widespread allegations where delegates were displaying cash, saying they've heard from Dr. Bawumia, they've heard from Kyere-Duah Japan, they heard from Brian, but they had not heard from Dickson and Kwame Japan, and for that matter, they were going to punish. All these were flying on the social media. So this is not the first time. The only difference here is that NDC, as a political party, swiftly responded to the allegations and put together a committee comprising of the eminent Totobi Kwache, we have Inisef Husseini, and the rest. The committee had virtually 48 hours to do its work and report. Yesterday, the report came out. Some of the key revelations were that, yes, indeed, these allegations, vote buying, by and large, were substantiated. And under normal course of action, the annulment was the way to go. However, the committee recommended that based on time constraints, filing of nomination is today. The committee presented its report just yesterday. So in the event the result is annulled, that it means NDC will not have a candidate to present today. It's very difficult to get a candidate to present. So the committee recommended that in the meantime, the winner of the election should be allowed to proceed to file, but the party has not stopped there. The committee has been expanded into a 7-member committee to get enough time to go into details of it. So let it not be said that the aspirants have been cleared. No, nobody has been cleared of any wrongdoing. What has been done is to allow the winner to file, because we don't want to miss the filing deadline, which is today. And the party continues to undertake deeper and extensive investigation into the matter and make far-fetched recommendations, far-reaching recommendations to forestall future occurrences. So in the course of the work of the expanded committee, if any action is needed to be taken, that will surely be taken. So this is the position of the party. And I think that is the direction we go in at the moment. So the major reason for not annulling the result is the conundrum that the party finds itself at this particular moment, where filing is supposed to be today, and there is a very tight corner to maneuver. So further investigations are going on, an expanded committee working on it. So that is the situation at the moment.
Okay. Kofi, I would come to you, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you see the response from the party leadership so that you can address that. Let's take a look.
The February 7 NDC primary saw Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed declared winner ahead of the March 3 by-election following the death of the sitting MP. The process was, however, marred by allegations of vote buying, triggering public outrage and calls from some NDC MPs for the election to be annulled. Baba Jamal was later recalled from his post as Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria. The party subsequently set up a 3-member committee led by Kofi Totobi-Kwache. After 2 days of investigations, the committee submitted its report. Committee member Inusa Husseini says all candidates who contested the primary were interrogated.
It's a committee of FEC, and so we've submitted a report.
With the investigation concluded, the party then had to make a decision. After hours of deliberations, General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Fiafikwete, revealed that all candidates admitted to giving items to delegates, describing them as motivation.
The long and short of the report was this, that inappropriate conduct was exhibited by virtually almost all the candidates. Even though you cannot establish, because the candidates were clear that what they did was in light of motivating of delegates. We believe that was inappropriate.
Despite the admissions, the party said it could not annul the results of the primary, contrary to the calls from some MPs in Parliament. The Functional Executive Committee therefore endorsed Baba Jamal as the party's candidate. Fifi Kwete explained the decision was influenced by the February 11 deadline for the submission of nominations.
Ideally, we should have an annulment of the primaries. However, the committee also acknowledged that there are real obstacles that make it difficult for us to do that. One, the party's constitution does not have a provision for an annulment of election. Two, we are time-bound because we need to be presenting a candidate by tomorrow to the Electoral Commission. So given these difficulties, and also there are legal challenges that could be mounted by whoever won, we have no option but to present Baba Jamal, who actually won according to the Electoral Commission declaration.
The party has, however, indicated that President John Dramani Mahama is expected to take appropriate action against any government appointees found culpable. It also announced plans to expand the investigative committee from 3 to 7 members to develop broader recommendations to address vote buying within the party.
Okay, so that's a wrap of what has happened so far with both the committee and as well the party leadership. Kofi, do you want to address a few things?
I think the positions have been well espoused. You know, beyond the time constraints, he raised issues about legalities. And we should all appreciate that the party itself has no constitutional power to annul any election conducted by EC. It is only court of competent jurisdiction. So the committee took cognizance of the fact that if an action is taken that you've annulled, and an aggrieved party goes to court, what will be the position of the party? So when elections are held, and interestingly, Electoral Commission conducted this election, certified it as having been held under our electoral laws. Then the party sits with the committee, says we've annulled. If an aggrieved party wants the result to be annulled, the place to go is to go to court. And that is why it raised issues of legal challenges. That is not to say these things didn't happen. If you look at the report and if you look at the communication from the chief scribe of the party, he admitted that these things happen. But under the circumstances, the way to go is not for the party, which lacks the power and authority to do. Because don't forget, these are issues that has also got to do with the rights of individuals. Once you say you've annulled and an aggrieved party goes to court, you have to wait for court to determine. If court determines that there were irregularities, court determines that rules were flouted and annuls, everybody will comply by the court's order. But for party to move ahead, to take that direction, when that is not explicitly stated in the Constitution, and that is also not within. And you know, some of these decisions, even issues that are not raised in the Constitution of the party, you need NEC. And yesterday, when the report was ready, it was fake. You know, the structure of the party is that the highest organ is the Congress, which meets once every 4 years. Then, beyond Congress, we have NEC. And the NEC has all the national executives. Every region, 16, every region has 5 reps. Parliament has reps and other caucuses. So it is a very big body. So between the 4 years that Congress meets, it is the NEC that meets to take decisions. And NEC meets once every quarter.
Okay.
So even if NEC has to deliberate on the report, if the report has to be deliberated, FEC alone doesn't have power. And FEC also takes decisions for NEC and other members on daily basis. FEC meets once every week on Tuesdays. So some of these things, we should appreciate the constraints, the bottlenecks, and the obstacles that the General Secretary has talked about. But MFA, let us just juxtapose that into what happened on 31st, and there is absolutely deafening silence. In fact, we cannot pretend these things are not happening. But one side,
yesterday, let's not matter too, especially because the OSP has taken interest in both matters.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
One.
Yeah.
However, this is very focused on what the party has decided that it will do.
Yeah.
We also are aware that...
So why has the other side
Baba
not
Jamal,
condemned what happened on 31st? Not even condemnation.
We'll come to that. Dr. Ekua Amoakoh has joined us, should come in, but Kofi, beyond the technicalities that I'm just hearing, the basic and the crux of it is that there is some sort of admission that something must have happened. How that happened, we're yet to arrive at that. But we're constrained by what? Time, our own laws or political party laws. We're proceeding with life. If somebody decides to wants to challenge this whole process in courts, we may take a step back. What does this really mean? Where does that leave us as a country?
You know, I'm laughing because Stigo idea was struggling, trying to defend this whole thing. And it's not just an NDC thing. It's a Ghana thing that I think we should take a look at. And using technicalities, it is allowed. But when the masses doesn't buy the technicality, it becomes a problem. You see, Ghana, we don't have ethics. In other jurisdictions, they even have ethical societies. I'm sure at the university, they teach ethics. The question is, what happens to us when we leave the university? We don't even have ethics in this country. And this thing has been going on for the longest time. maybe for the first time, we could have used this as a yardstick to say that enough is enough. That is what we do as Africans and black people. That's why we are not progressing. In other jurisdictions, yes, something will happen, but they make sure that it doesn't happen again. We will give excuses. Oh, this person also did it. So what? Does it make it right? Okay, and until we stop this, he's talking about the delays. Haven't we had constituencies that have been denied representation in this country? Jachi Kwesin and some other people.
Or Sal.
Yes, Sal and all those things. Even now, this man was held for a while. Is it the MP from Nandom?
Pandai.
Pandai, yes.
Nyindam.
Yeah, yes, Nyindam. Look, we need to let, and this thing, somebody will say, now who caused them? Is it the chicken and the egg, or the egg and the chicken? Because, first of all, I voted for the first time as a Ghanaian in 1992. This thing was not there.
Yes.
Actually, in 1992, the NPP, as a party, as is done in some places, were actually even paying for people to come and represent them. The party. So what happened? That all of a sudden is because the candidates or the aspirants are the ones who causes this. He comes and tells you that, oh, you see, when Honorable Stuttgart came, he didn't do anything for you. He didn't build a road. He didn't do this. Me, if you vote for me, I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. So you take this, and then make sure that you vote for me. This denial, using words like, oh, TNT, oh, welfare, oh, I fed them. Please, why should you feed people to vote for you? Are they your children? Are they your children? We even go to the extent of actually kidnapping them. We kidnap them all so that I will not have opportunity to have access to them.
Really?
Oh, please.
For camping.
They come them.
Camping.
Yes, it's called it's kidnapping. They find a nice way of using it.
Oh, wow.
It's kidnapping.
Oh, Lord.
Celia, you know the difference between camping and kidnapping is for kidnapping, you don't have an option of going now.
If you don't, that's your camping. You take them to a hotel that nobody can find them.
But those who...
That's really interesting. Okay.
You know, and like I'm saying, maybe we've done it for a very long time. This opportunity for us to say that enough is enough. How do we make it better?
Okay.
So that we have people, you know, when people talk about Ghana's politics is becoming, is it moneyocracy or cash-induced stuff? Look, in other jurisdictions, in the United States, do you know how much they spent on campaign? Or this your...
Quite a lot.
This your 1.5 money, but it is not paid as bribe. We will pay bribe until we accept that it is bribe. Look, just for you to do media alone in America, do you know how much it costs? Actually, they're volunteers.
Yeah, those who go to the door-to-door.
Door-to-door. Yeah. You don't give anybody because the person believes in you. Let's stop this thing and pretend and as if, you know, if somebody did the lie on 31st and so what? 31st, nobody talked about it. We are talking about it now. So let's lump all of them in.
Okay.
Like I said, I have been a campaign manager before.
Have you?
Yeah. And to me, this thing that is called bribe, it is not cocoa, it is not rice water, it is nothing like that. Okay, let's stop because Ghana is not getting well. Look.
So were you paying when you were leading the campaign?
Why not? That is, yes, curious. Why not?
So you were paying it?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Why not? That's why I'm saying that to me, it is good that it has come out in the public. Actually, it's been coming out But we deny and use words like, oh, no transportation.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go on phone. Doc, stay with me. You haven't seen her since Dr. Bawumia won, by the way, and so it's quite fair that she's in white. We'll congratulate her a bit later.
She's looking refreshing.
Doctors, she does. Let's put some science to the conversation that we're having. Dr. Asah-Asante is a political scientist at the University of Ghana, and he joins us via phone. Doc, good morning. Thank you for staying with us. So yesterday you heard the reports, you heard what the party had to say about the vote buying. You've also heard from the panelists. What's your take?
Good morning, MFA, and then my colleagues in the studio and then out there. I have listened to it, but I realized that, first of all, NDC are saying that, look, we're constrained by time and provisions in our manifesto. Didn't they know this before coming out that they were going to investigate? For me, I realized that it's just, I knew. You remember I told you that it will not end anywhere. Because all the political parties are guilty of this type of crime. And that I'll be surprised that they will come out and say that, oh, this person is wrong, this person is wrong in this direction. Because let's go back to the last election. I can tell you without fear of contradiction that only few that we can say in this country that they don't induce anybody. The rest, they do that. And the night before election, that is the day that all resources are spent in this fashion. And we, this society, we have acquiesced to it. So you realize, yes, difficulties and all that, but they knew. They are very much aware that their constitution doesn't give them any power to annul any results. They are also mindful of the fact that look, there is a short time for them to do this. So they just push the thing out, saying that, oh, we are going to investigate and all that. So me, I knew from day one that it will end nowhere. Because if they are minded and they are careful about this thing, they could have said that, look, we are going to meet, sanction those who are involved. And then whatever happens, happens. Even if we lose the seat and we are able to set this example, it will be, very good example for others to emulate. But hey, they choose the lines of least resistance. And then they tell you that this is it. For me, I have come to a firm conclusion that, and if you follow over the years, our experiences point to the fact that we are not ready to deal with issue of moneyocracy or inducement in election and all that. Every time we get opportunity, we take the conversation to another level. Now people, I was listening to Mr. Kapito and the rest, talking about the fact that people have now found clever means by which they define this thing. Oh, this one, a little transport here, you feed. And Mr. Kapito was very right on that. Why do you feed somebody who want to go and exercise his own right? That kind of thing. It's inducement. You want him to change his, ways of voting towards one person or another. That is all. Because, look, after election, if you care about those individuals, would you continue to give them transport wherever they go? Do you continue to give them food? You must continue that process because you want to influence them. And we, the society, instead of putting our foot down and punishing those who do these things, we have acquiesced, right? Because I have sat down and pondered over this and asked myself, politicians are regarded as servants. Have you seen any servant who is going to any home to go and serve and then telling his master that, look, I am here with a goat or 1,000 Ghana. It just come, I'm giving it to you. What kind of servant would that person be? And what will be the perception that the master will have about the servant who is coming here? We have not done all these things. And then in the name of party politics and then our political tradition and all that, it's the order of the day. And all of these things also point to the fact that we should come back to the table and look at political party financing. That conversation, we have abandoned it. And that is why we are suffering in all these things. So I am at loss. I know that even if they say they are going to have an expanded body that will look at the issue, it's very inconsequential because we want the action now. If you have found that some people, some wrongdoing happened, seriously, that should be the end, and then you take serious action. But you allow them to go. What action are you going to take when people have even found themselves in parliament? What are you going to do? And so I know that it's just much ado about nothing. The political actors in this country don't want to fight moneyocracy inducement in Ghanaian politics because they are the ultimate beneficiaries of this. We must tell them in their face.
Okay. Doc, when you still stay with me, because I know at some point you may have to go, but if you're still with me and I come back to you, my question would be that I hear you say when the party released that statement, you just knew that they weren't going anywhere with it. Yeah. But what would you say to people who say that the party wanted to scapegoat one person, at least? If it was wrong yesterday, then today they seem to want to right the wrongs that they did. And so they would like to scapegoat an individual or for these set of candidates that went for the election. You didn't think at all they could stretch it by scapegoating at all?
Oh, no. As for the scapegoating excuse, I know that those who argue on that score, I think they got it wrong. Because if that was the case, they would have moved ahead to mete out sanction to that individual and all that. It was just an ordinary excuse that people were using, an ordinary argument. But the real argument is that, look, if they were indeed serious about what? Setting the example, they could have gone ahead and said that we have sanctioned this person, and then for that matter, the person didn't get opportunity to move to the next stage of what the process and all that. But hey, look at it. They knew very well that the annulment they were calling for, they knew that their constitution didn't give them. Look at the plenty lawyers in NDC. You think they don't know? There are people who have, they could even memorize everything in their constitution. You think it escaped them? It's not true. But they want to tell you because they don't want to be called clearing agent, the way they tax Nana Akufo-Addo government Nana Akufo-Addo as a clearing agent. They don't want. But is it another form of clearing of agents? I mean, only time will tell. But I know from practice and then from experience that the political actors, things that really affect them, they are not interested in fighting it.
Okay,
they will just sweep it under the carpet. Do all manner of things for you to know that, look, there's something, they appear to be doing something in that direction, but strictly speaking, they are not doing anything. So I know this fight, if we as a society, we don't punish them, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that they themselves will not fight it because it inures to their own benefit.
Okay, you're on the same page with Kofi Kapito this morning. The politician is on his own. Let me also talk to the other politician. Doc, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning, MF.
There was a little prophecy you muffled the last time. You said after 31st, you'd have popcorn in your hands and you watch. Is it happening already?
I mean, I think it's a little premature, but I'm enjoying it. But before I get into all of that, you see, I'm very happy with what Doc said over the phone. So why was the inquiry commission? What was the point? If you knew ab initio that there was nothing you could do about the situation, it's another form of the settings that this government has enjoyed so much. But onto a more very serious situation that's unfolding. Since yesterday, the NIB has, I don't know if it's, let me borrow the word, kidnapped a young man from the MPP, the former CEO of NAIP, for what amounts to be whistleblowing. And nobody has any idea where he is.
Cancer?
Yes. Nobody has any idea where he is being kept. And I don't know if this
even
is
till this morning.
Yes, if that's the jungle that we want to live in. Because what is his crime? He went on one of the TV or radio stations to say that people have been buying scholarships. And first you invite him to come and explain these things. He goes, explains, he goes home. Then there's an order from above that he should be taught a lesson. Is this the kind of republic we want to live in? When amongst yourselves, conducting your own internal elections, you've degenerated it to the point of giving out Kusiani Meko. This vote buying thing is not something to be played with or to be compared with 31st. We were all here on 31st. Did anyone see anyone inducing anybody with TVs or egg and pepper or, that was almost dirty politics that we saw in the Ayawaso East by-election. And
it
cannot be compared in any stretch of the imagination to whatever happened on 31st. There was no vote buying or voter inducement. We can go into this whole idea of campaign financing and whatnot, but there's always been this kind of tradition of even when you have delegates conferences, the party provides TNT and accommodation for the delegates. So now that we are not voting all together in one place and they aggregate somewhere in their constituencies to vote, it was very difficult to do away without TNT. But this TNT is not an inducement because you can take TNT from all 5 of them. It's not something that you take and based on that your vote goes on that. No, so that's a completely different thing. This is not a situation where a group of delegates are kept somewhere and they are coming out with 32-inch TVs. And even when you look at the results of the election, you can clearly tell that the TV and Kosiani Meko worked. That is what we are talking about, a breakdown in discipline of the ruling party and how they are now using the state security as their own, I don't even know, private security. Because tell me what's going on with this arrest of the former NEIP CEO. And the funny thing is, it started with a banter on social media. One of the NDC guys whose name I cannot remember, but I'm pretty sure someone will send it to me now, started a banter on social media, I'll have you arrested, I'll have you arrested. Is that the zoo we live in right now? And to my surprise, it's not even being discussed. That should be the main issue, because if we live in a country where you can go on radio and say something and NIB is ransacking your house, disturbing you, and now they arrest you, keep you somewhere overnight that nobody knows, then nobody is safe. One day I could be here talking and after NIB will be waiting for me downstairs. Is that the kind of ridiculousness we want to entertain in this country? I'm going to call on the NIB and all of the state securities. You are going to exist after whatever change of government happens. It's not going to be NDC in perpetuity. So I urge you to exercise some discipline and decorum in the exercise of your duties. You are not NIB to NDC. No, you are NIB to the people of Ghana, to the state of Ghana. And so you have a responsibility to behave in ways that are fit with your job description. I think this is something that is completely appalling and must be called out altogether. We are hoping that by the end of the day, I'm hoping that at least, even by the time I get out of here, Kofi has been released, because there's no sane reason to keep him.
Honorable, have you heard about this? Kofi, when I come to you,
let me congratulate.
Please keep it in mind, just a minute. When I come to you, Kofi, I want to know, I see people try to draw a distinction between the egg and TV and, you know, the delegates who said that they are waiting for other candidates on 31st to take money. I mean, she's a politician at heart, so I'll take it from you. But respond.
Let me congratulate my sister,
Thank you very much.
on that victory. The last time we met here, I told her her candidate was going to win. But I also added that he would eminently face humiliating defeat in 2028. So nothing has changed. We knew Dr. Bawumia was going to win. But based on our track record for the first 12 months and what we intend to do in the remaining 3 years, he will be handed a bigger defeat than he tasted in 2024. Secondly, let me also add to the call for us to respect human rights of individuals. I believe we should respect their rights, but let us also be very cautious things that we say on the television and the media space. And let us be clear that this country is governed by rules and regulations and laws. You cannot be spewing whatever you want without being accountable to what you say. So I don't know the other side of it, but if it is an invitation to him to come to explain or provide further information, evidence to whatever he said, I think he should be held accountable for that, because these allegations cannot be allowed to slide. So we should also be very mindful whatever we say. Now, MFA, I was trying to avoid politics of it, but I think we should be very clear that if we talk about monetization of our politics, it was NDP that started. No two ways about that. And to pretend your side here were complaining bitterly about one side that is inducing delegates, and on the day of voting, clearly on television. So if we are talking about the issue, let's deal with it holistically. And I'm very happy my senior brother, Kofi Kapito, owned up and said, once a campaign manager, he was also involved. So when we admit these things exist and no political party is immune against it, that is the beginning of finding solutions. But if you absorb yourself from monetization and say that is the stock in trade of a particular party and we are not involved, that is where the problem comes. But indeed, if we're talking about monetization, 1992, Kapito said he voted for the first time. There was no monetization. 1996, no monetization. Monetization started in 2000, and it's been with us till date. And MPP are the worst culprit when it comes to monetization. We're all talking about, if you knew time was not on your side, why start in the first place? If for nothing at all, the party condemned it, the parliamentary caucus condemned it, the committee has also found some level of evidence. So some steps have been taken. You may say you are probably not satisfied with the whole outcome of it, but at least some steps. How about the other side that has been silent as if nothing ever happened? So I think when...
How do we explain the steps we take and it brings it back?
No. But even condemnation itself, condemnation itself.
Today, many people condemn vote buying.
Yes. No, but MPP are not condemning. They are condemning that NDC are the people involved and they are not part. That is what, and I'm surprised, Doc. I don't know if you are being infected with this Dr. Bawumia factor and Dr. Bawumia campaign, because I don't know you to be like that, denying flatly that these things don't happen in MPP and they are happening
but the
in
fact
NDC.
is,
no, that's what you say.
The shoe is on your foot.
No,
so to try and rope in it is on your foot.
Tell you.
It is during your primary
that
we saw people coming out with flat screen TVs.
Let me tell you.
People were giving
it is
eggs.
Because
there was
decided not to do anything about it.
Then we ask you about it, and you want to talk about the MPP primary.
Let me tell you, if you have diligent IGP with strong operational team that is flashing out criminals, that is flashing out armed robbers, you may be tempted to say, the armed robbery cases are on the ascendancy. But it is probably because action is being taken. If you decide not to do anything, you lie, those things will be going on, nobody will be talking about it. And that has been the position of MPP, pretending nothing is happening, playing ostrich. But NDC has said, no, this is real. It is happening in our body politics, and we need to deal with it. And steps are being taken to deal with it. As I indicated, this is not the end of the work of the committee. It's been expanded, and further action will be taken. And again, we are taking steps to forestall future occurrences. If for nothing, we tried in 2015, when I was a parliamentary candidate, every single NDC card-bearing member voted in that election.
Mm-hmm.
But after review, what happened was when we opened the registration, MPP infiltrated all over and decided to vote for weaker candidates in our constituency. So we are not.
I hear that a lot. How did you discover that? Was it an investigation?
Oh yes, but during the voting, this person clearly voted NPP. Based in the constituency, in a polling station. This is clearly MPP person. You come there.
But was that a failure on the part of the political parties or EC? Was EC that conducted the...
No, it's not EC. It's not a failure. What happens is, for instance, NDC has opened registration of new members from 10th February
then MPP
to 30th March. So now, as we speak,
that's what they are saying.
We are registering new members. Listen, so anybody can walk to any branch and say, I'm coming to register as a member of NDC.
Okay.
And when it is time for voting, and we say every card-bearing member of the party is entitled to vote, that person will be eligible to vote. So if, for instance, MPP opens their registration, they're registering new members, I can send my people, go and register, get the card. Then when they are voting and they say everybody wants to vote, and I know maybe Kennedy is the strongest candidate, for instance, and maybe Dr. Dichum is the weakest, I would say you go and vote for the weaker candidate for him. So the NDC people who have infiltrated will go and vote for the weaker candidate and bring that to you. And so it is not as simple as that. You need some safeguards, and that is exactly what we are doing. That is why this committee has been expanded to come up with recommendations as to the way forward. If the system can be tightened.
There are challenges with opening up.
Oh, yes.
Dismantling the electoral system.
Huge
but we're here discussing the challenges of the delegate system as well.
Yes.
In every situation.
So it is not as simple as that. So people just say, we've tried it before. Practically, if you say everybody, you may have over 11 million members, but when actually your vote share, national vote share, is around 6 million, 7 million. So it is not as simple as that open for everybody. There are a lot of people who have multiple party cards. They go here, get the card, they go here, get the card, they go here, get the card. But the only way through which you can know the true members of the party is at the delegates level, because one cannot be an organizer of an MPP at a branch and the same community be maybe secretary in the branch.
So I'm laughing. You see, we are talking about internal politics.
So these are the challenges.
Honorable. No, it's not a challenge. Honorable, I beg you. Let me. No,
you didn't provide alternative solution.
Let me.
So what is your alternative solution to that?
Listen. In other jurisdictions, America is they just had some elections in various areas.
Yeah.
They'll be going through midterm elections in November.
Yes.
That is within the aspirants in various constituencies.
Yes.
This your warp and this your bad mind that both parties have. That because somebody in America, it doesn't matter when they are doing these elections, whether I'm NDC or MPP, because I like Dr. Ekua and I believe in what Dr. Ekua can do, even if I'm not with her party, I'll vote for her.
No, but you won't be eligible to vote.
Listen,
you won't be eligible. Because in America, what happens when you are going to register? Look, the American example is totally different. In America, when you are going to register as a voter, general voter, like EC is registering, then you register as a Republican voter or as a Democrat voter. So the very card they give to you for the national election, as you are indicated as either a Democrat, a Republican, or whatever. So whenever Republicans are having election, anybody in the national register who registers as a Republican is entitled to vote. So you cannot be a Republican and Democrat in the register.
So what's wrong with us doing that anyway? But let me have Kapito.
Let me tell you. Listen. Listen. On the same voter thing that you are talking about, there's a space for being an independent candidate.
Oh yes.
Yes, so you don't know. Let me tell you. This is what I know. Let me tell you. Stop this politicking this morning. I get angry when people do politics with my life. Okay, it is my life.
No.
Kapito. Hold on.
As much as we give you respect.
You are not.
Don't people do politics with my life.
I'm telling you,
it is also not true that whatever you say.
You didn't mention the independent thing until I mentioned it.
But why should this get you angry?
Let me explain. Because
it get angry when
it is my life. It is my life.
But let's hear him.
It is my life. Everything that happens to me from morning.
No, it's your life.
Hold on.
It may not necessarily be there.
When you were talking, I didn't interject. Yeah. Let me talk.
Honorable, let's have it. Let's talk.
And this thing that you politicians do, when the thing doesn't favor you, that you think you need to interject, please stop it. Stop it. Okay, look. There are independent voters also there. Okay. So what if I'm an independent voter? I can vote for anybody. It is your fear.
So what is the percentage? What is the percentage of the independent voters?
I'm not the electoral commission in America. If even there, they don't have one electoral commission. They have various states. that do their own elections.
No, but
no.
You are not giving any alternative solution.
Let me finish. You didn't allow me to talk.
Let's hear him.
Because I'm not saying it in your favor.
No, you don't need to say it in my favor.
Let's hear him.
To the alternative solution.
Honorable, I'll give you the time to respond. Let's hear him. Okay, please proceed.
All I'm saying is, this thing idea that when you talk about expansion, you throw in the same excuse. It's what is not correct. Okay, we are voting for local elections representation, which is the person who wants to contest in my neighborhood, whether NDC or MPP. As an individual, because of the way you do your things, I can decide that, yes, I don't even like the person in my party, because he won't even make my life better. I will vote for you. What are you afraid of? What are you people afraid of that you say no? Because it's not about the national election. Even the national election, I can decide to vote against my own rep because I don't believe in his ideology. It's done. It's not always that because I'm a card member, I am bound and I'm forced to vote for a person that I don't like.
Which means that, if I understand your argument, which means that even if they don't open a register for new members, the existing card-bearing member can still decide to vote against.
You can, and even when it's open or not, even when you register, you can decide that the person representing my area. If I know you're a thief, you are my brother and you're a thief, and you're going to represent me, and the other person I know is a genuine person, why should I vote for my brother who is a thief?
So, see, it's about, let me clarify. I'm finding out from you. So, are you suggesting, for instance, if you are voting in, say, Bantuma, for MPPs electing their parliamentary can, everybody in Bantuma, whether you are NDC, whether everybody should have the right to go and vote? Is that what you are saying?
That's what they do. So that's what they, let me explain. That is why they would tell you that, oh, because the person had more, because they know the people registered for NDC MPP. So if MPP people cross, NDC people cross, your votes will go out because of the work you can do, not because of the party. We have put ourselves in this thing that is NDC MPP. It's about Ghana. It's about the person. Look, let me tell you. Remember when we did the constitutional review under His Excellency Mills, right?
Yeah.
I was part of it. We went to St. and everything. Then we came to National Theatre. No, not the other one. The pink one. What's it called?
Conference Center.
Conference Center. Then a prominent man that I respect, one of the Ahoys, the one who wears the hats. What's his name?
There's Kwesi and
there's the Ato and then there's Kwame. I think I get confused between Kwesi and Ato.
Me too.
Okay. I think
there are three.
There are three, eh?
Yeah.
Kwesi.
I think he is Kwame. I'm not too sure. Okay. Then we proposed that we should do this appointments of regional ministers and MCs and all those things should be localized. Then he said no, because some time ago under the AFRC, somewhere in a Kwesimintim, Takrady area, there was an election that there was a town drunk and a lawyer. And then when they stood the elections, the town drunk won the elections. Can you imagine that there's a lawyer and a town drunk? And I told him that he doesn't understand what local representation is. The people in that area, maybe they are all town drunks. So they want somebody who will represent them. That is what politics is. It's not what you, the party, wants. It's what the people want. If you don't know, it's what the people want. So if the people want to vote for you, they will vote for you, not because of your party. Because of they believe in you. We have made this thing NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. There's no middle ground. That is why people don't even vote. Because if I'm going to vote for either NDC
so your suggestion is
or
that
MPP,
MPP primaries, every Ghanaian should have gotten opportunity to vote, whether they like Bawumia, Kennedy. Is that the position? Because the position is still not clear to me. Is that what?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because we are doing delegates. If you are not doing delegates within the local, the the primaries here, it won't be a problem.
So I'm talking like maybe the MPP.
Yes.
What would every Ghanaian should have?
No, everybody in that constituency.
In the party or in the
constituency.
Which constituency?
Whatever.
No, because that, the whole,
because you vote
presidential primaries, the constituency is the whole Ghana.
But I'm talking about within the party, that is where the private people.
So you are talking about every MPP person.
MPP person.
No, but that is still different from what you are postulating.
I mean, that's what she's
saying. You see, I feel like the systems around the world are even different because the UK runs quite a different system.
So which one do you
And if you look at, the MPs do a deselection first. And in the UK, especially like in the Conservative Party, it's not everybody that votes to elect the leader of the party.
No, not the leader. I'm talking about within the
like a parliamentary
staff.
But for their national, whoever is going to be, that's not everybody.
We are not talking about the national. We are talking about within.
But you see, even with their candidate selection, they have a lot of rules. There are even certain seats that they don't allow people to contest.
Which is true.
Because the party
in wrapping up on this.
But even the America is talking about, we have college system.
Yeah,
even voting, it is not. About the popular vote.
College system.
After everybody has voted.
America, they don't.
They don't. After everybody has voted.
They don't.
It is not about popular vote. Who get the highest number of votes.
It
is not the college system.
Clarity.
So let me conclude by stating my position. I've said we did it in 2015. There were challenges. We are looking at ways of maybe perfecting it.
You as well are not for the
But in any case,
it's not as simple as
Kapito, in any case, by the current rules, our delegates are twice. The number is twice that of MPP.
We are over
400,000, and you are 211.
Because
you are 200, and we are still 400,000. So,
but you're still buying all of them.
We are
okay, let's open up the conversation.
And we want to expand further.
If I want to finish this Kofi matter, because an impression was being created.
You mean Kofi Nkansa?
Yes, that he might have said something untoward or something. But there's somebody in the NDC. So if the NDC is trying to tell us that the country is for them and the rest of us should pack out, then that's fine. Because I have a video here of an NDC, was a parliamentary candidate or MP. I just want to find you the name so that is correct. Honorable Joseph Azuma Akofom, also saying that he paid 30,000 to get school placement for somebody. He said this on Equity, saying, a long time ago, no arrest, no NIB, no Rambo style, no people going into his home to ransack his home.
But was he investigating?
No,
during the MPP era?
No, he said this year.
This year?
Yes. Not that I've heard anything about it. So what's the so special? Yes, he's a member of the ruling government. See, the NDC is not understanding that there's been a breakdown of discipline. And one of the things that they campaigned on was to be new, to be disciplined. So that's why they are receiving so much heat on this matter.
In Kansa, what you have not heard from him, his family can confirm that it was the NIB that came to pick him up.
His lawyer is Nana Ejebafo. You can call him after. Okay. They went for this. He was invited. This was late last week or something. Okay. He went, provided his evidence, blah, blah, came home. Okay. I think there was not enough humiliation for whoever is behind this. Okay. So they call him again yesterday, even when he's in Kumasi with his family, blah, blah. He comes back. They take him to NIB. They take him to his house to ransack the place. And then he's been detained. As I speak to you this morning, this is what is going on in this country. That's what we are talking about. And I feel like these things cannot continue to be excused. It is completely unacceptable.
I think this puts the whole country on notice. Let's open up the conversation a bit. Just yesterday, we brought the news about the Corruption Perception Index by Transparency International. But before that, let me take you to Nima, where my colleague Stephen Mensah is gauging the mood at Ayawaso East since that report was presented yesterday. Steve, what's the mood in Ayawaso East?
I can confirm from Ayawaso, I'm currently close to the market where the mood is a bit of happiness. You know, today is a market day, so most of them are engaging in activities related to buying stuff or selling stuff. And you would understand from what you just rightly said will be the NDC's primaries that was on Saturday. I've been speaking to some people right before we came on air, and they say that, well, some of them are satisfied with the elections, and for some, they are not really convinced with how the elections was handled. I'd want to engage some of the people here on what they make of it. But then you would know that on Saturday, history was made, and it will be the first time since in the Fourth Republic when a certain MP or a late MP's wife lost an election. I'd want to engage this woman to pick her thoughts on what she makes of the elections. Auntie, good morning. What's it then?
Now we swear.
Pacho, Saturday NDC Prime is not here. No, then I'll join for home.
Oh, man, you.
One way. Oh, there have been conversations, and I'm not say I'm to it as he come and call for say on better about the Sunday man, and also John Foster.
Wait, they said to me to ask us, be better about we were sitting on to Abba. What share ye by your years near to ho, or be a ma near Mano Yatiti swinging elfo, but you go for by and talk. And to say, Yana, the Babaswa, my atoyadia, and only a bay, and no interest will be a can say, Minko to Abba, or be to me by my Mr. Casa Minko to Abba. Me akasa me ma sitinem ni se na niam ekọ ahoto a me wo e na me de beto me hu se me to ma we na me hu beto me a ono na me to ama no.
Before this election, Abdul Nasir onana oteso then I'll join fast na oye ne niam no and then a person who ewo wasistem cca ewo hanom
ewa ha de se yeti kwa ho ne yeton ade aha nyina abasa yeti musa nti se wabade a obesiesie no pe baby maye ne yekọ hyadwa wo ho enu na ekire se wo bo man yie enye se ya ye wo man no comedy yen yenye aduane di yenye bebe papa ntana nti ya sori ana wa na ye be voto ama wo da bi se wa anya wo niam yie a ese ye yi wo na foforo mra no be sisen ya sitirem
for what they open say almost south system open market wa hana
open market aha market na eswa ye kitwa nti most no be ho say ye wo lole kwan ho saa ekosi enye fe ye kwan se kamfa so enye se ni pan hyadwa nti so obetra so se obehwe ye so dia wo mpe baabi mayen na dwa we ye nkọ ho se na be aya ye wo kwan ho ni nyina ye nya bebe papa bi atra enye oba akofo ye nyina enye pepeni na enye fantini na enye aigbeni ye nyina ye nipa ba ako nti so oba dia na ye nyina na yaje na atom dia ombe ye ne ye nyina ye nya bebe ntana
ojo se Baba Jamal betima ye we ama
se ye hwe no se si ye hwe no so betumi aye dia ye ni problem so otumi ya se obekọ na foforo aba so betumi aye dia yaje na atom so otumi nya dia ene obebeba no abaye ne ya ama yen.
So that was one trader who sells close to the market, and she says that she's expecting Baba Jamal to ensure that there's a new market for them. She says that the market right now the one they have right now, it's too small to occupy or to contain all of them. I'd want to pick more thoughts of more of the traders over here, given that the elections was on Saturday, and we know that Baba Jamal won with about 431 votes, making history. The first MP to overtake or to win the contest between the late wife of an MP. Ate, good morning. Saturday elections number 2, okay. But what do you make of the whole elections? Yeah, we've understood that there are some vote buying incidents and all. What do you think of it?
Nothing.
Sorry?
Nothing.
You don't think anything of it? Well, Ate, Pachumabao, and that maybe I'll say elections number 2 about Saturday and all during the NFL. Well, for some of them, they do not want to talk. But as I rightly mentioned, on Saturday election and the history was made, and right before we came on air, we understand that the constituency executives are meeting at the NDC headquarters for the run-up or final procedures to ensure or to, I'd want to say, to move to the next step to ensure that Baba Jamal is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the March 3rd elections. I want to engage this lady also. Auntie, good morning.
Morning.
Then I'll join for NDC elections number 2. Then I'll all join say Baba Jamal to my Baba Jamal Saturday. Then I'll open say Oyama Saturday Omoba power parliament. Then I'll open say Oyama.
This is the enemy pese. Amunye.
Me no unko for ni because I must say pese owe market for hanum. Say na munyi na mbetu makum.
Da bi e penny say ya. Market ni e komo amumpini. Di amu market. Amumpini na ye ngo komo wo.
It's then a parliament then I'll pese oyama.
Di e penny say abae na omuye. E say omunje na yenya asundwe entrance.
Yeah, that's very. So MFA, those were some of the people here in Nima who say that they are expecting more from Baba Jamal if he's elected as the Ayawaso East constituency parliamentary candidate.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. So that's what's happening at Nima in the Ayawaso East constituency. Well,